I do agree with him. Excuse me. You do want someone, and I say this on my channel a lot, you want someone to be hot with you, right? Honest, open, and transparent. So if you can't have someone that's going to be real with you, then the person that's always blaming somebody else, and that's why I said earlier, like, I can't do anything with somebody that's always blaming somebody else for what's going on in their life. I just can't do it. But if you say, "Hey, look, I've been doing X, Y, and Z. It hasn't really been, getting me any results, but this is the part that I'm playing in it. How can I turn this around, or what can I do differently, or I really need to stop this and I really need help. I really need someone that's willing to do it. Someone that's asking for the help because they know that they need the help. I think it's an African proverb that says if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And I think that when we are in relationships and things like that, and then it gets to a point where it's like, oh, I'm not happy anymore. You think you can go faster alone. But then you have these couples that are in 50, 60 years, and it's like they went together, which means they did everything together. They was down in the trenches together. They also were self-aware. It couldn't have been two self-conscious people doing that. They had to be self-aware. They had to learn themselves and they had to learn in each other. And that takes time and it takes patience. And someone who's self-aware knows that things aren't going to happen right away all the time. Sometimes it's going to take time. But a self-conscious person is not going to allow for that time. They're not going to allow for that space. I believe Paris said that earlier. They're not going to allow for that. So you want to deal with someone who is self-aware, someone who is open enough to say, you know what, I have this issue and I know that you love me or I know that you have my best interest. So let me sit down and listen. Or let me be open with you because I know that you're not going to BS me. I know you're going to give me the real. And that's what I need right now. But you don't find a lot of people like that because people are afraid, they're shameful, and they think that what they are going through, other people aren't going through, and they are. But nobody wants to be part of being neighborly is loving your neighbor as you love yourself. So that means if you can't do it for somebody else, I doubt you could do it for yourself. So I'm not even going to look to you to be a self-aware person. So being self-aware is knowing that it's going to take more than you to get you to a certain place. But you have to be honest, open, and transparent about that.
Go ahead, Swain. Did you speak on this? The self awareness part of it? All right.
Um, yeah, I must have rode the short bus today because I had no idea what the hell he was talking about for a minute, and um, and that's why I asked you to play it back twice because while he was saying this, I was googling the definition of both self awareness and self consciousness, and what he was saying didn't correlate with the definition of self awareness versus self consciousness. Now, I understand what he was trying to say based off of the explanation that everybody gave as far as them understanding why they wouldn't want to deal with why they would want to deal with a self-aware person. Um, but I think what happens, I think the difference between a self-aware person and a self-conscious person is that a self-conscious person may be, which is the definition of self-conscious is a feeling of undue awareness of oneself, one's appearance, or one's actions. Synonyms for this would be embarrassed, uncomfortable, uneasy, nervous, tense, edgy, unnatural, inhibited, strained, modest, bashful, blushing, so on and so forth. And what I think the difference is that someone who is self-conscious may feel those things, but a self-aware person may know why they're feeling those things. And I can see why a person would want to deal with someone that's self-aware because they would know why they're self-conscious. They may say, "Oh, I'm embarrassed to go outside in these shoes, but I know why I'm embarrassed because I don't like the shoestring color, or I'm aware that this isn't the style that's in right now, or something like that." So I get that. But what he was saying in regards to dealing, whether deal with a self-aware person and a self-conscious person, and the examples that he gave just didn't correlate with me. That's why my brain completely fried when he was speaking. And a self-aware
Sweeney,
person
so
would
I
know
think
that.
what you're saying is, and I think that you're right. I think that a lot of people do know certain things about themselves, but they don't know how to proceed. And instead of saying, I need help with this, or I have identified what the root issue is, they'll go and blame somebody else for what's going on. It'll get to a point of self, like a small point of self-awareness to self-sabot, you're self-sabotaging yourself. So it's like, if you're going to come to a point where something is up, you just don't know how to go about it, then you have to speak on that when you know it. And I think everybody feels an uneasiness of things that they may be insecure about or shameful about or whatever the case may be, but you have to take care of it. It's not an option. Because I always say, if you don't take care of life issues, life will deal with you. It just will. It just will. It will find a way to deal with you. A situation is going to come up and you thought that it was in your past 20 years ago. And you're like, dang, I thought I was over that. I thought that situation was over. How is this person situated with this? Life will come back to deal with you if you don't deal with it. And so we just got to be honest, open, and transparent about that, and not be afraid or ashamed about it, because other people are going through it too.
You said
And
the
so maybe
right
that's
word.
where you need to start, with the people who are going through it too. Maybe find concentrated groups that are catered to what you're going through, instead of trying to jump in the sea of social media. If you're looking for help on social media, I, don't.
All
Don't.
this is about shame.
Don't.
Precious, you said the right word. You said shame. People feel shame when they're self-conscious. When you're self-aware, you have an understanding of shame is not the problem. Shame is going to make it worse. So run around just worrying, run around feeling shameful is only going to make it worse. So when you're self-aware, you start looking for why you feel shameful, kind of like what Sweeney said. And once you change that, you can actually change yourself, because worrying about what other people are thinking about you ain't going to change nothing, but make it worse. So it goes back to the external versus internal locus of control.
Hey, Mr. Lego.
I ain't hear nothing. He said, all I heard
Hold on,
was,
wait, hold on, wait. Mr. Lego. That was
Huh?
very
hey.
that was very beautiful what you said. But I got a question for you.
Hold on, they said they couldn't hear me. I'm in the hospital, so
I was gonna say, did you add
I hope everybody's okay.
babysitting? Did you add babysitting to the eating ass and buying tires?
I'm with my daughter. We're in the emergency room. But everything's okay,
Is
Precious.
everyone
Everything,
okay?
yeah, everybody's okay. It's just concerns, and we're like, oh. So we just here. Everything's
Wait,
okay though.
when did you have a young baby? That baby sound no older than like 5. When did this happen?
I got grandbaby.
Oh man, you didn't say grandbaby. You said I'm with my daughter. Oh,
My,
let, let me stop
my,
being stupid. Let me stop being stupid. I'm
my
sorry.
daughter's here too. What are you talking about?
I know, bro. I know. That was dumb. That was dumb.
Hey,
I'm a
cut.
double daddy. I'm
Hey,
I'm a,
cut. Just pass your hat up there to the top, man.
you said
Oh
what?
shit.
I was just trying to pass his hat to the top,
Like
man.
being
I
a
was gonna
grandfather.
say, Cloud,
That's crazy.
just throw the heck the
Yeah, man.
That
Just,
was super
yeah,
dumb.
go free
Hey,
to the
y'all,
right, and then
I
one
am
up.
riding.
Yeah, we just toss it up there tomorrow.
I am riding the short bus today, y'all. I apologize.
hey, shit, but you want to know what? I'm like, damn. I'm like, Sweeney got his ass. So I was right behind on the short bus with you, Sweeney. Oh yeah.
But it's glad that I wasn't alone. I'm glad I wasn't alone on that one.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all was wondering why do y'all hear a baby 12 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah. Then like I heard like something about vegetable aisle 28 or something. I'm like, what's going on? Where you at?
Yeah, I'm in the emergency room waiting.
Okay.
But everything good though, right?
Yeah. Everything's good. She's running around acting crazy, so which is good.